Hi lovelies, welcome back and Happy New Year! I know that we just took a 2 week break, or I should say I took a 2 week break, so I'm really glad to be back with you guys. In honor of this being the first video of the new year, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what we tend to do for the new year, which is improve ourselves. Self-improvement, being better, being smarter and richer and wiser and more fit, eat healthier, have better relationships, all of those things that are so compelling. We make resolutions and we vow that this year we're going to do what we've never been able to do in the past. And the way I see self-improvement is really different than how I used to see it. I used to see self-improvement as though there was this target here of the perfect self who has everything, life is great, doesn't really struggle, has little struggles, but nothing really big. And that this was like a goalpost to get to. And then there was wherever I was in the moment. And it was like there was this big gap between life's going to be great once I get to here, but I'm here and I need to close that gap. And to close that gap, I need to find the right tools or techniques or strategies or mindset. Or when I came into this conversation, it was like, well, I don't really need to find so much of what I did before, which was like, someone give me the blueprint, someone give me the tools, someone give me the strategies. It was like, someone give me the insights, because clearly this is the best version of me. Clearly this is where I am. And the gap between it is what I'm not seeing. Now, the problem with this is that, first of all, we can't force insights. So for me to create this giant gap between once I get all these insights, it's going to get me to this, perfect state of being, this always happy, always great life. I have no control over what I see when I see it. None of us do. So if I make my happiness conditional on having insights, good luck, because I could be waiting a very, very long time to see things that I think I need to see to have a better life. What it looks to me now is that there isn't this big gap in reality. There's only this gap in our thinking. And what I mean by that is, because thought is this creative energy that we all have flowing through us, giving us experience, having us know we're alive, having us be able to literally have a life. Without thought, there would be nothing. There would be no colors, sounds, people, relationships, things, places. Like, we need thought to experience all of that. So that gap that we have between this is what's going to be when everything's perfect and great, and here's where we are now, and we need to kind of bridge that gap only exists in our thinking. Which means that sometimes it'll seem like a really big problem. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, this is bad because this is what I would be doing if I was eating healthy. This is what I'm currently eating. Oh my God, there's this big gap between it, and I have to make a lot of changes to get to that target. Or whether it's with weight, or whether it's with money, or whether it's a relationship, we have this gap, but that gap only exists in our thinking. Which, the great news about that is, not only does thinking change, but it feels real, but it's not real. So we have this target that to us looks real. It looks like, this is me eating healthy. This is me at my great new weight. This is me with that dream relationship. This is me in my dream job. This is the house. This is the whatever. And that is not real. It just looks and feels real because that's how the system works. So now, instead of it being, there's this gap of tools and strategies, or there's this gap of insights, it's, oh, there's this gap when my thinking tells me there's a gap. There's a gap when my thinking says, here is where the perfection is. Here is where you need to get to. Here's the target. And oh no, that's not in my head. That's real. That's a real target. That's not an idea. That's a real thing. That's not a made up belief. That's something that you need to be striving for. So now I see that I'm still going to experience this gap, but only when I have thinking that says, you need to get somewhere other than where you are. There is this target you need to get to. There is this place you need to get to. There is this thing you need to do in order to be okay. And the absolute truth for me, for you, for all human beings is that we already are okay. We already are fine. We already have everything that we need. We already are what we're seeking, what we think we're going to get when we get to the target that's made up is what we already have within us. So, if anything, instead of starting this new year trying to get yourself to bridge the gap however you see fit, look more in the direction of, well, what if that thing, that target, that goal, that whatever I'm striving for is just existing in thought, which means that it's going to change because thought changes. It's going to look different because that's another feature of thought, is that when the energy of thought changes, the thing that it creates looks different, the form looks different. So we know that that's going to look different automatically. And also really seeing that it can't exist out in the world. There can't be this, perfect dream life, this perfect dream weight, this perfect dream house, this perfect dream relationship that we need to work our way to, because that very thing is thought. It's ephemeral. It's here when we think it and not there in any real in the world sense. And so knowing that it doesn't exist out there in the world, it exists in our head, allows us to give ourselves a huge break across the board, a huge break that we think there's somewhere to get to, a huge break that it looks real to us because that's what our thinking does. It brings experience to life such that it seems so real. I get it. I get that our realities feel real, but that doesn't mean they are. So if you're feeling like there's somewhere you need to get to, the good news is you don't. You have everything you need. You are everything you need. You are everything you want. And if this year is something that, if your resolutions or your change this year is fun and interesting and something you want to create for a while and it's like a game, then by all means play the game. By all means have fun with it. But if it's looking like here is me lacking and here is me not lacking and oh my God, somebody tell me how to bridge that gap, I'm telling you there's no gap. The gap exists in your thinking. And so if it's stressing you out, if it's making you feel awful, if it's convincing you that you're anything less than the infinite creative potential of the entire universe, then the good news is you don't have to listen to it. You can see it as thought, you can see it as made up, you can see it as the transient energy that it really is, and you can fall back into peace, because peace is always there. Always, always, always. So I hope this was helpful. I'll be back with you guys next Friday. If you like the videos, please give a thumbs up or subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I love interacting with you guys. So if there's anything that you're wondering about, pop it below. I will get to it. And I will see you next week. Take care. Much love. Bye.